I'm not going to lie to you, Dirty Birds fans. I have no idea what this team is right now, but I believe personally that might be okay. Welcome in, Falcons fans, to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose on an Overreaction Monday for you. We are going to talk about the win over the Washington Commanders where the Dirty Birds won 34-27. First things first, what is your one-word reaction to the win over the Commanders? I'm going to start by saying this. I am grateful. I am grateful that the Atlanta Falcons came out with pride. I'm grateful they came out with juice. I'm grateful they came out with a game plan, which we'll all touch on here in just a little bit. But mostly, I am grateful for Michael Penix Jr. and Bijan Robinson. Let's talk about the overarching bird's eye view of this W. The Falcons dominated everything. The time of possession by more than 9 minutes. The penalty game had one less. Third downs, they were better. First downs, they were better. Total yards, they were better. You should have won this game. And they did. All of that is good. But for the first time in maybe all season, there was a clear and decisive way to win. We are going to control the time of possession. We're going to control the clock. We're going to pound the rock. We're going to make you bleed up and play our running attack. And then we are going to let Michael Penix loose. And that's what they did, which is what we wanted. We talked about that in the Keys to Victory. We said the way to win this game is to establish an offensive identity, whatever that is, stick to your game plan, and then continue on forward. But with that being said, I still have no idea what this offensive identity is. For the most part, it's this guy right here. It's Bijan. That's your identity right now, and that's okay. If we're still figuring it out, I'm fine with that. And these are the games when you're going up against backup quarterbacks that you can play around with different identities, different game plans, different schemes, and just watch your young quarterback go to work. So, while I will say that it worked in this game, I still have some major question marks about the play calling. Why? Because even the CBS sports crew was calling your plays, and that's pathetic. So, Zach Robinson, I will give you a round of applause for coming up with a strategic game plan. I will give you a round of applause and your credit where credit is due for sticking to your game plan. But you still ran 37 plays out of the pistol, not counting penalties. That's unacceptable. It's far too predictable. So while having a game plan proved effective, this Falcons offense is still very predictable, highlighted by one play late in the game. It's 3rd and 1. You're driving down the field to put your foot on the neck of the Washington Commanders. And even the CBS Sports crew goes, they're lining up at the pistol with Bijan. This is going to be a run up the middle, and they're going to get stopped. And the very exact thing they called happened. And you had to punt it away. Just against the Commanders. This is not the pistol against the Carolina Panthers, the pistol against the Minnesota Vikings, or even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is just versus the Commies. CBS crews predicting your formation calls. You had 3rd and shorts that you just could not convert, specifically in the pistol. When you were in the shotgun, it was fine. When you were under center, it was fine. You also have a very limited passing game when you are playing out of this formation, but that's besides the point. There were a couple of plays where Michael Penix Jr. just did not look good in the pocket. Very few plays, maybe 1 or 2, because for the most part, he looked outstanding for the game in his pocket presence. But you can tell there are plays where Penix just doesn't like what's being called. And like I said, I don't want to be the negative Nelly. I don't want to be the one that slams down on Zach Robinson after a win. He committed to this bait and bomb offensive game plan that I like to call one of the most effective game plans I've seen from him since he took over. You bait him up with the run. You bait him up with the run. You bait him up with the run, and then you unleash the dogs. You let Drake London go wild. You let Kyle Pitts fly up the seam. I thought Pitts, I thought London had outstanding games. But Bijan's going to be great, always. But this win also signifies to me everybody that doubted Michael Penix Jr., every single person that said he is not the guy yet, I don't want to hear it. He had one bad game in a bad play calling environment on the road, division rival. He just shit the bed. But he responds by giving you one of his best, maybe not his best, one of his best performances as a professional. 20 of 26 for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He threw with conviction. He threw with timing. He threw with purpose. He threw with aggression. Everything that he did inside the pocket, from his pre-snap reads to his initial throw, everything looked confident and in command. And that's what you want to see. It doesn't need to be Joe Burrow. It doesn't need to be Josh Allen. It doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes. It just needs to get the job done. And it did. Before we continue on with what I believe is the biggest overarching takeaway from the Falcons through the first quarter of the NFL season, make sure you check out these unbelievable Falcons apparel items. Excuse me, got tripped up on my words there. We've got deals upon deals upon deals for you. And a short sleeve shirt, 35% off. This Falcons long sleeve, $55, now $33. And all you got to do is go to chatsports.com/Falcons sale or chatsports.com/ATL shirt. You want the best deals? I've got them for you. Chatsports.com or in the comments and description of today's video. First of all, that was the MPJ we needed to see. I don't care who you are, what kind of quarterback style of play you like to see. From a guy who was in his 7th start, that looked like a veteran play. He had one bad throw. One. And I'll give all the blame on Penix for that. It was a bad read, a bad throw. He just didn't see the field correctly. But outside of the one bad throw that he made, everything else was spectacular. So hats off to MPJ. He also said this, and I think this pretty much kind of captures exactly how we all feel. At least I do. Maybe you feel differently. I feel like I showed myself that I deserve to be here and that I belong. Yeah, of course you belong. You're the team's quarterback of the future. Don't let anybody else tell you twice. Now let's talk about the real reason that this team feels different. It's the Falcons' defense. And if you remember going back to last week when I previewed the matchup against the Washington Commanders, I said the defense against the Panthers was not the problem. When your team can't put up points, that's the problem. Everybody looks flat-footed after that. So the defense got a slap on the wrist. But they came back out, and they limited a backup quarterback to looking like a backup quarterback. Mariota was going through his progressions all day long. He wanted his first read, wasn't there. He wanted his second read, wasn't there. Third, fourth read. And at that point, the Falcons pass rush, being as talented as it's gotten, can absolutely get after you, and they'd flush him outside of the pocket. They'd either force a little check down or they'd force a throw away. The secondary of this team is so good when we get a consistent pass rush. Now, mind you, in order to be considered an elite secondary, it is complemented by a good pass rush, always. You've got to put pressure on the quarterback. When you don't put pressure on the quarterback, he's got all day to throw. I don't care if you're Pat Surtain and Derek Stingley Jr. or Jalen Ramsey out there. You will get cooked, period. But this might be one of the most talented secondaries the Falcons have had maybe in 8 years. When we get A.J. Terrell back, it's going to be even scarier. Bowman, couple of plays here and there today. Didn't look his sharpest, but still played a very good game. Bates is always going to be great. Xavier Watts, who we'll touch on here in just a second, is a dog. And Mike Hughes, who made a couple of really great plays today. Or yesterday. My apologies. We got 2 rookie studs. Bowman and Watts. The pass rushers will come. Pierce and Walker, who, by the way, Jalen Walker played great today. Those guys are going to come. Their big moment's going to come. But I specifically want to focus in on the guy that I was touting as the best safety in this entire draft class. Just throwing it out there. Xavier Watts, who I also said was a first-round talent, but no one was going to take him in the first round because of the position that he plays. This guy's going to be a top 3 safety in the league by year 3. I guarantee it. He's so good at everything. He's not great at one thing yet. He's just good at everything. And his interception in the end zone today, where he just drags his feet, completely flips the tide of the game. That was the moment I believe the Commanders, led by ex-Falcons head coach Dan Quinn and ex-Falcons quarterback Marcus Mariota, lost that game. It was right when Xavier Watts, who had just come off the field from an injury, steps up, makes a play, and gives the ball back. Now, I'll remind you, this is not a perfect win. So don't take this as me saying the Falcons are back. They're so back. That's not what I'm saying. It was a step in the right direction. A step in the right direction leading into the bye week. A bye week that is going to prove to be very, very important for the continuity, the structure, the health of this football team. So while you beat a backup quarterback without their number one weapon, it was a game you needed to win. You went out there, you executed, and you got the W. That's the most important thing. Which is why my confidence going from a 4 at the beginning of last week is now probably back up at a 6.5. I think you did just enough to say, okay, we know now that this team is going to be led by the defense. How do we come up with an offensive game plan in order to complement what we do really well, which is stop opposing teams? So you let me know in the comment section down below. Before I get on out of here, I just want to remind you one more time and say thank you one more time for everybody that hit that subscribe button, not only during our watch party, but also during every video that we put out. If you're a diehard Dirty Birds fan and you love Falcons content, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got you covered. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. A reminder to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and Dirty Birds fans, I will be back later with some more news, rumors, etc., just for you surrounding your favorite team. Rise up and be cool.